Greetings, programs. Welcome back to ArcNeo Reviews, and welcome to part 1 of the Cheap Console Cavalcade. So yeah, I thought it'd be fun and a nice change of pace. I'm actually going to go through and look at several of those, like, weird, cheap, knockoff consoles that you see being sold on Amazon and places like that. Now, this video, I'm going to kind of just run over, a few key features of all the ones that I have, and then later each of them will be getting its own more in-depth video. But this is where I'm just going to flash them all in front of you and show you the, what they came with kind of thing. So, first one we're going to look at, this is the Builtin Classics Model RS16. And to be honest, right now, this is actually one of the better of these little devices. Here, let me shuffle things around here so I can get a better look at this. Yeah, TV, PC, Android games. It's a Famiclone system. Everything on here is like bootleg Famicom games. But, yeah, fairly nice looking box. It looks like it's right there, I just realized it looks like it's stuttering. I know it's supposed to be lithium-ion battery pack, but it looks like it's lion, Yep, this is the blue one, obviously, as you saw back here. Just labels what the buttons are. Most of these do have TV out, which is kind of cool, actually. And, yep, this one's using PlayStation buttons on it. Very common with these. Built-in power, yeah, this one uses 3 AAAs or lithium-ion battery. I'm trying to remember if this one came with the lithium-ion battery. I don't think it did. But yeah, 12-bit game, so it's, 4 bits better than normal. 2.5-inch display, built-in classic games, whatever, pretty standard box, don't eat this thing, it's electronic, it'll kill you. But here's the little device itself, and yeah, this thing's really, really good, actually. I am shocked how much I like this one. It's got a really nice heft, and it feels good to use, which is shocking. The D-pad's a little mushy, but these are individual buttons instead of trying to be a normal one-piece D-pad, which does help. I even like, kind of that almost gunmetal metal flake thing going on it instead of just being flat plastic. There's your little port for the TV out. Basically, all of these came with a terrible little, TV out hookup like old cameras had, and the ones that use a battery pack or use a built-in battery came with a terrible, cheap 3-foot charging cable. This one, yeah, I stopped being stupid, and I remember this one is just running off of 3 AAAs. I don't know why it says lithium-ion all over it. And back here you've got the power and, AV logos. You've got your little volume wheel down here, which is also nice. A lot of times you have just a preset volume kind of thing on these cheap systems. No, this one gives you an actual wheel. Got a menu button, got your start button, your 4 buttons there, which are basically B, A, and then these 2 are turbos. So, go ahead, turn it on really quick. This one is actually a 260 game device, split into 2 different lists, and cool enough to say, actually, across all of these, there are very few actual doubles. There's definitely some funny stuff in here. When this thing gets its own video, I'll actually do some capture with the TV out and everything. That's actually been the holdup on these videos, is waiting for the cables to get the TV out working. There's even a, weird NES, demake of the Super Nintendo Aladdin game that works pretty well, to be honest. I'm sure it's not as good as the real thing, but it works. So, you know, that's it for this one, just to keep it short, since, again, I'm looking at, like, several right now. Also, funny enough, this one came with something none of the others did, and that's a tiny screwdriver and 2 screws. So, yeah, if you want, you can put in batteries and then screw it in to keep your kid from, you know, trying to eat batteries or something. That's actually kind of neat. So, you know, of all of these, this is easily one of the better ones. Okay, so next up, we're going to go ahead and look at the twins. So these two were different listings, different sellers, all that fun stuff on Amazon. But when they got here, they came in identical boxes. I'm holding a box upside down. But yeah, same boxes, same TV out cables included with them. These both run on batteries, so there's no charging cable. And even the exact same instruction sheet in both of them. So, get that out of here really quick. And as you can see, down under that little Qingxi logo, very similar, you know, design to the first device here. But yeah, committed to quality, committed to you. I gotta say, this one, again, is a pretty decent little system. QC passed, something compliant, how you put the batteries in, don't eat it, it's electric, so don't just throw it in the river. On the back here, you got your little breakdown again of where the buttons are, what does what. Now, sadly, this one does lie on the back. Again, this one is smart enough to know it only uses, you know, just the basic, you know, 3 batteries. It doesn't have any lies about, you know, a lithium-ion pack or whatever. But it says 2.5 millimeter AV output. No, it uses the 1.8 meter AV cable that it came with. It does not have a headphone jack. Neither of them do. I don't know why it says that. But to get to the systems themselves, see, these were both bought because they had different game counts on them. This one was, I want to say, here, you know what? We'll turn this one on. You'll notice this lovely title screen of Chip standing in the Mario Castle under some weird bootleg Sonic thing. This one's 152 in 1. This one is 182 in 1. Go ahead and shut the volume off here. It does have another little volume wheel there, which is nice. Same, you'll notice, exact same title screen other than the number changed. Same, you know, brass going on there, chip, everything. This actually has the exact same list of games as this. It's just the list goes further. And it does have some pretty funny stuff, like it's got that legendary So Mario bootleg. There's a messed up Mario 3. There's Mario 14 where he's a kung fu master using a bow staff. There's Mario 10 where he just runs around in his white shirt and white hat and beats people up. Again, there's a lot to cover on this one. It does have some pretty legendary, like, weird stuff sitting on it, like the Mortal Kombat 4 NES remake, where it's just 4 copies of the same 7 characters. Go ahead and give you guys a couple seconds of this one. I'm not good at this one at all. Also, you notice it says I'm fighting Nightwolf. Well, that is very clearly, that's Shao Kahn. And I am losing something fierce. Oh, am I gonna get him? I love the, like, just random blood splurts you get in this game. Oh, he corners me and beat me. But, yeah, again, you know, individual buttons for the D-pad, reset button, start, pause, turbo up there. As you can see, this is a fingerprint magnet. You look at it slightly too long, you will get fingerprints. Same, 3 AAAs going on. Again, good little systems, again. Then for our next one, we have something really strange. This one came in the most generic box possible that just said game console. And it's got, you know, picture of happy kids in a box that's exploding. Kind tips where they're like, hey, don't write us a bad review, please, just like email us and we'll fix it, we swear. Contact us. Pulls go to the order, choose contact seller. Yeah, this is a box made for Amazon. Says it's the red one, and yes, it is red. This one's kind of interesting, not just because it's very obviously trying to be a PSP here, but this is one of the ones that does not have... Oh, forgot. Sound button. Sound button. Turn off the sound. This one's very annoying to listen to. This one is not actually full of bootleg NES games. This actually has like old-style phone-looking games. Now, sadly, this one, while it does actually have USB power, is one of only 2 devices. Actually, no, this is the only one I have that does not do TV output. So, I'm just warning you, when this one gets a video, it will just be getting looked at like this. This thing's incredibly lightweight, and it's doing a weird thing. I don't know if it shows on the camera very well, but, you know, LCD screens like this they're oriented, so you're supposed to look at them from one direction, and if you look at them from the wrong direction, the colors get weird. Well, this one is actually oriented like this. So, you want to play this thing angled like that for the optimum view. And there's some really funny stuff on this one. There's several games on here called Cat and Mouse that are just very clearly using Tom and Jerry, which is great. There is actually like working back buttons and stuff on here, which is cool. But I'm going to turn on the sound and risk, you know, getting a copyright strike or something here. There's a lot of games on this, but one of them is called here Dancer Trace. Keep the volume low here, but I'm going to go ahead and start the game. First of all, the little pixely man there should look kind of familiar. And there are actually 3 dancer games. But, go ahead and start it. Yeah, we're getting weird little Gangnam Style ripoff things. It's not even rhythmic. You just have to hit the buttons in the right order. But then you make little PSU or whatever there dance to not Gangnam Style, we swear. This one interesting thing to know, it did not come with a screw at all, so I don't know why there's the screw hole there. But if you pop off the battery pack, the cover, this one can actually run off of the included battery pack or 3 AAA batteries. The option is bizarre, but actually appreciated. You know, like, if you're gonna get one of these weird little systems for a kid, it might actually be handier to use batteries instead of having to keep it charged up. So, that's pretty neat. Also, you notice there's 2 speaker holes back here. This one is filled with lies. There's only a speaker on this side. But again, this thing is really, really lightweight. It doesn't feel the best. Again, different separate buttons for the D-pad. They're not the worst. The games on this one are weird, though. I wish I could direct capture it, but we will still have some fun pointing the camera at this thing and laughing our heads off. Then, because I am backwards like this, the next one we're going to look at is actually the first of these systems I ever got. And funny enough, I had actually shot a video on this thing like 2 weeks ago, but then my buddy told me that he had got me a couple more of these things, so I nixed that video and waited for the rest of them. But here we have the Pocket Game Player, playing anywhere, anytime. 500 classic built-in games, 501, 2 players, TV out, 3-foot screen, 3-foot screen, yeah, that would be impressive, 3-inch screen. You'll notice something interesting. This one shows a little, not, Nintendo pad. This one actually supports 2-player, which is very impressive. It is just in, a super generic little white box with a sleeve over it. The usual shows how it works with joystick. This one actually doesn't have, like, weird lies on the back, thankfully. Like, it is accurate, saying it's got a battery pack and everything. There's the battery pack. This one doesn't do the cool thing where it can also use, a AAA's or anything, but yeah, came with a charging cable, came with the TV out, came with a weird little user manual and a controller. This thing, if it wasn't for the D-pad, would be, like, just the best. Clearly, it's trying very hard to be a Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Color style device. It's this D-pad that kills it. Because anytime you try to hit 2 directions and go do a diagonal, it just kind of mashes down in as one and hits everything. If it didn't do that, this would be the best system. I'm not going to lie. Up here you got your power, your TV out, and your charging / secondary controller. Nothing else anywhere except reset button right down there. Go ahead. Get this thing on. Get the volume somewhere reasonable. Fire it up in English. Now, for being 500 games, this does have the highest count of any of these systems I have. Yes, there's some doubles on these like you'd expect, but I want to say there's only like 5 doubles. And technically it still is more than 500 games, even canceling out the doubles, because there's, if I can find it, you've got Contra 24-in-1. It's a multi-ROM cart. Basically, it's just Contra running in weird ways with, pre-applied hacks kind of thing. But there's a lot on here that is pretty cool. And worth special note right now, if we skip to game 401, Transformers. This is actually the Japanese-only AVGN classic game, Secret of Convoy, with the horrible seizure-inducing intro there. But yeah, it's just as hard to play on this as you would expect. To be honest, it runs really great, though. I'm terrible at this game, but apparently if you just run forward really fast, you win. Okay, there, we hit a tank and died. But, yeah, this one in particular, really impressive. I wish the D-pad was better. Like always, it's getting its own review here later. And now we're to our last 3, and here's where things start getting bizarre. So the next one we're going to look at was called Arcade Game. And it came in a tall box. with a lot of weird random things on it. Now you notice this one says 16-bit video game, as well as, yes, these ones are made to look like arcade machines. This thing is a Sega Genesis in a box, which is actually really cool. Yes, it does have stolen Street Fighter artwork all over it, but this is one of my favorite machines just because of what it is. And it's actually a 6-button Genesis emulation, so it's really good for the fighting games. Yes, it does have Genesis Street Fighter on here. Power switch is back here. This one does plug into charge. Actually has, I believe this is both headphone and TV out. This is actually, you know, the full jack size normality stuff. Go ahead, turn it on here. And there's some cool games on here, but also some questionable games. Because as you can see there, turn off that horrible music. It's got the old X-Men game. I don't know how that would work on here, since that game does require you hit reset mid-game. And on here at least, reset always takes you back to the menu. So I don't know if that one will work very well. Also, as you notice, yeah, the top of it lights up to really kind of sell being a arcade machine. But if I can find it really fast here, anyone who... Oh, yeah, worth noting, it has Blaster Master 2 on here. That is incredible. I love the Blaster Master series. I went to great lengths to actually track down a Genesis copy of that game. And then just a couple weeks later, here's this. So, but anyone who knows Genesis emulation and stuff knows the first thing that you want to try playing to make sure it's getting the sound right is Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, this thing's got TV out, so it's going to get its own full captured, video. But I figured for fun, I'll give you a preview of the joys to expect here later. Sounds fine. And there it goes. Yeah. Everything is like 2 octaves too low here. But to be fair, it does play just fine. Just about went and tried to do a spin dash there. Wrong game. Just for fun, I am actually going to finish out the level here. Didn't hit the bonus ring. So, yeah, sound, not so accurate on here. Everything else is fine. Really looking forward to when this one gets its own video. This one, I enjoy this one a lot. Now, our next console is one that some of you might actually recognize, because this one they actually just sell in stores. This is the only one that's not some, online special thing. This is the My Arcade Go Gamer Portable with 220 games, 16 bits, high resolution video games. They're not high resolution, but it's got different types of game on it. Cool. There's your little list of its features. Headphone jack. I'm pretty sure this one has TV out, but I can't remember. Powered by 3 AAAs, not included. This one's weird. This one's very, very weird. It looks really cool, I'm not going to lie. It's going for that Game Boy aesthetic again. But they do make a model of this that's doing the whole arcade machine as well. Volume control inside here. Unfortunately, the batteries are behind a screw on this one, which is annoying because that's a cheap, terrible screw that I do worry will strip out if I look at it too hard and stop working. But it's got a 3-stage power switch. So the first one turns it on. I'm going to get the volume off here. But the second switch lights up the buttons and the My Arcade logo. So they were proud of this one, and they shouldn't have been. Because for those of who might have noticed, this D-pad is a solid chunk of rubber. This thing is awful. As well as, if I get it into a game here of some kind, first of all, note, it lists a short few games here, but then it will get to like education and minigame, where then it takes you to, you know, you go to a list, then you go to another list. As you can see, it's got that same thing going on with the misoriented screen, which is lovely, and it's really egregious here on camera. It's not as bad in real life. But I'll go to Mini Fighter here, and here you'll see probably the biggest problem with this thing. Here I'll pick. Pretty sure that's not Felicia. Yeah, every game on this thing runs like it's in slow-mo. Now, I have tried a lot of different games that are on this thing, and they all do this. At first I wondered if it was just this one, because this was actually the first game I played on here. No, they all have this problem. As far as I can tell, there aren't any, like, useful, like, combo attacks and stuff here. And the computer, like, always manages to block that weird Sonic the Hedgehog special I've got. Yeah. There's going to be a lot to talk about on this one when it gets its own video. It's funny to say, this is the only one you can actually just go normally find in a store. Oh, also, yeah, the entire front is piano black. How many of you are losing your minds right now watching these fingerprints just all over it? So streaky. Yeah. That's the thing that really sucks about this one, besides the fact it's a piece of garbage with slow-mo games, is you think about it too long and it gets fingerprints. I'm not even kidding, actually. I cleaned this thing off, sat it on a shelf, and when I picked it up to get started recording tonight, all the fingerprints had come back. Ugh. We're going to leave it at ugh and move on to the final system of the day, which has the awesomely original name of nothing as far as I can tell. This one, though, is actually the most interesting and will have the, just hands down, the most content. This one actually is like a loadable little emulation machine. So, as you can see, a few stolen iPad, iOS icons there. Some lies where it shows you, new games and stuff. Although, actually, I think that's like a really weird edit to a Center of the Earth, Journey to the Center of the Earth screenshot. But yeah, a lot of blurbs on it there. I'm not going to bother reading all that. You can pause and read it if you want to. It does come in 3 different sizes for the built-in storage, as well as 5 different color designs. I have this one because channel recognition, that is my color scheme. Frankly, it's my color scheme in real life too. But this thing's ridiculous, and I love this thing. So, yeah, wonderful claim here of it being an MP5 device. It's not. Also claims it has a 4x digital video camera with optical zoom. I think some of them might have had it. It very clearly has the spot for mounting the camera lens, but it don't do that. Back here you can see it is the 8 gig model, so it's got 8 gigs built in, and then a slot up there, load it with some more. R and L buttons. This thing's trying very, very hard to look like a cross between a PSP or a Nintendo Switch. But this thing is seriously, seriously great. Gives you some more lives as it starts up here. And interesting enough, I don't know why, you'll notice that it says it's, 0 o'clock, or obviously midnight. I've set the time on this thing like 30 times. It never keeps the time. Everything else it remembers, though, just fine. Every setting I've changed, fine. The games I've manually loaded on it, fine. It just won't keep the time saved. As well as down here you can see it also does music, it looks at JPEGs, you can put videos on it, and it does have a decent enough resolution to play videos on it. Funny enough, you actually use the B button to select things. And as you can see here, actually, it has the Xbox style button layout, which is very, very confusing to me. But yeah, it actually comes with a video file preloaded on it. Let me check where the volume is, make sure it's not super loud. And go ahead and play this.
Struts, check. Flaps, check. Engine, check. Coffee maker, check. Buckle up, boys. Launch.
Yeah, they randomly put a trailer to one of the Madagascar movies on here. So, that's about as random as it could be. I don't know what's up with that. And what's really cool about this one, actually, this is like I said, you can load games onto it. It says it has 10,000 games preloaded on it. It has 500. And these ones here on the screen. These ones don't seem to be volatile in any way, though in the directions there is a warning not to delete the stuff that's pre-installed, otherwise this thing won't work. I don't feel like risking that, to be honest. But going here to optional game, or directory list, this is actually a bunch of stuff I loaded onto it. Sadly, the Genesis does not work, so I need to delete those off. But it actually plays all 3 models of Game Boy, NES, and Super NES, and supposedly PS1. I don't know how that would work with not enough buttons, but it says it can. Also, worth showing off, both of these little joysticks, these actually work as they should. I don't have any games on here where I'd be able to tell if they were true analog, as well as, if I remember right, this one, yeah, this one actually is just hitting these buttons, so I don't know what good that necessarily is. I know somewhere on here I loaded on a game that actually will run. But, this part alone, kind of impressive. You can also hit escape, and it has like settings on, you know, how you want the buttons mapped out. You can change that. You can switch to 3 different screen size modes. It remembers these settings as well, by the way. So, come down here, return to game. Yeah, that's how small an original Game Boy game is in terms of resolution compared to this whole thing. So, let's see here. I don't quite get how the power on this thing works, because it is actually tied to both this switch and the button, which is bizarre as heck. But, yeah. Again, everything here getting its own video at some point, but I figured for fun, just kind of do a quick little overview of everything. Hope you guys are looking forward to these things getting their own videos. I'm going to go through them, you know, as quick as I can, and then actually get back to the Tamagotchi videos. I'm aware, yes, that's been gone for a long time. Tamagotchi connections have a lot going on, and I have 4 generations of those stupid things. So, sorry. They're coming, but I'll have these out soon. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.